have to say it. You're back. You're both back. Did you think you'd both be back for another one? What was it like to get you both signed on for this one?
Well, it took a little work on their part to bring me back, because I just was not really sure that I had anything more to say, and it's been 28 years, and I'm like, are you putting me in a wheelchair or what? Because it was just so far-fetched to come back all these years later. But after careful consideration and a vague outline of the story, and thinking I've got 28 years to fill in with character and make these decisions and then bring them to the stage, to the sound stage, and I went for it.
Yeah.
See, I didn't go through this drama. You know, it was much simpler, because Jim Cameron told me the story after a motorcycle ride. And I immediately said to him, I said, I mean, this is fantastic, especially after he told me that he wants to bring back Linda Hamilton.
Oh,
and I couldn't wait to work with her again.
Oh, I love that. So she was a big part of it for you. Yeah. I've been hearing from everybody that you set the tone on set, Linda, that you were this leader, and that they all looked up to you and your work ethic and what you brought to the character. How fun was it, and also how hard was it for you to come back and do this movie?
Well, I think people are being very kind to say that I set the tone. And it
You
was
did. You did.
They all just got so excited when you guys came in
The
here.
ladies are fantastic. And I don't think I had anything to add to their performances. They stood alone and they stood strong. They were so prepared. I watched Mackenzie work. You know, we went to gun camp together in Texas, and I was actually feeling a little, when we were in Texas, I was just like, oh, I am just never gonna be able to not compete with that, but to even match that. And you know, she just had so many skills, and she could do a magazine change with her weapon and a little flip, and you know, all in one motion, and I'm struggling with my tiny hands and then to unlearn what I had learned in the early 90s, because we don't handle weapons this way anymore, it's now this, and so the more comfortable I became with the weapons, the more my muscle memory would make me do the wrong thing, and it was frustrating. So I was alarmed, but certainly when I show up on set, I'm just all in, and they are too, by the way, so they're just being kind to me. But we did, I think the fact that the three of us were so committed and really fierce women and very good actresses, if one of us had been a weak link, it all would have tumbled down, you know, but we really elevated each other every day, and they elevated me as much as I elevated them, that's for sure.
So she can put you in your place, Arnold.
Well, I tell you one thing, that having someone work with you makes your performance better. There's no two ways about it. And I think that, I know Linda tries to play it down, but the reality was, I watched it firsthand, that obviously the whole younger team that was on a set kind of looked at her and saw her performance and how well she was prepared and how well she did with the stunts and how many times she did it and never complained about it. So that she, you know, raised the bar really high in 1991 with Judgment Day, with the last Terminator, and then now even raised it higher. And so they had no chance but to go and follow that and try to outdo her, which it was impossible to do. So she was a really great motivation on the set.
What was it like to hear her say, "I'll be back"?
I think it was great. She did a great job. I wasn't there when she did it, but I saw it in a movie, and I was amazed that someone could say it in a different way, the way I say it. And then I found out that she actually worked on it to make sure that she could say it in a different way, right?
You can't say it without sounding like him.
Yeah.
I would, you know, it's at the end of a very intense action scene, and it's weapons, and it's triple digit heat, and you're just giving it everything, and then every time I would finish with that line, I would look at Tim, and he would go, "Sounds like Arnold."
That's tough, it's iconic.
Do it again, and drop the grenade, and turn around and say it, and I would go, and he would go,
So did you decide to just say, I'm just gonna say it, I'm just gonna...
Tim guided me through it, because it really was almost impossible to say it after 3 decades of hearing it in your head with his voice.
By the way, we have a little clip from the Judgment Day, our interview with you. Arnold, here you are.
Of course I'm jazzed about T2 because I know it's going to be the huge, big blockbuster of the summer. And it is exciting, you know, when you have had last year Total Recall come out and be, you know, the big movie of the summer, and then the following year, this year, we come out with Terminator 2, and we have the big chance of making a big kill again out there. So that's exciting, you know. I feel very fortunate that I have great directors that I work with and that help me with my career and with my films that I do.
And nothing has changed.
Yeah?
Because the great directors.
Yeah.
This is the bottom line of what I said there. The great directors. When you have a great director, you have a chance to really be successful. If you don't have a great director, then your chances are very slim. And this time with Tim Miller, we had a great director to actually execute the vision of Jim Cameron, and a great director and creator, Jim Cameron, who created the whole story. So we felt very comfortable with that package.
Well, it's, on the one hand, nothing's changed because you guys are still these talented people making great choices. On the other hand, time has passed. What was it like for you to see each other again? And it seems like you kind of picked things up right where you left
Clearly,
off.
we don't like each other at all. Really, I was utterly delighted to see him again.
Yeah.
Flooded with happiness, every inch of myself. So I pretty much hugged him straight for the first 3 weeks, until he's like, "Get off me."
It was fun working together again. And as I said, she raised the bar so high in 1991, and so the question was, what is she going to do in this movie? And she, you know, kicked some serious ass. She was a badass, the best kind of female action hero, and you know, and that at the age of 60. So that is really okay. So
I always do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, look, you guys killed it in this movie, and there's been so many more Terminators from here. Will you be back again?
Only the audience will decide that.
Okay. Well, I gotta ask you, look, we can never get enough action movies with you, Arnold. Now you got a son-in-law who's also a big action star. Could we ever get you and Chris Pratt in a movie together?
Maybe. We haven't talked about it, but I mean, I respect him very much. I think he's a very dedicated actor, and he trains really hard. He's in good shape physically, and he's talented. So but besides all of that, he's great with my daughter, with Catherine, and that's the most important part.
Oh, what makes him that perfect fit?
He's just a nice man, you know what I'm saying? And so it's always great when someone is successful, and someone has a vision, and someone is driven and knows where they go in their life, so that's very attractive. But if you're not kind, and if you're not a real mensch, you know, then you don't have much. He is a real kind person, and he's terrific with her.
Well, that's got to be tough for you as a dad to entrust daughter to somebody else, and I would imagine you're kind of an intimidating father-in-law.
Yes, I can be.
Yeah, look, we love watching you guys, and I was just talking to Gabriel, and he was saying he worked out with you for this movie, you know? I'm like, that must be kind of crazy to be working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then the girls were telling me that you quote your own movies, which I sort of loved. What of your own movies do you quote the most?
Well, I don't know which ones I quote the most, but I tell you one thing, that it was great working out with Gabriel.
Yeah.
Because he took it really seriously. The whole idea that he had to build up his body, he had to get muscular, to be believable on the screen, that he can do and be a real threat to the T800, to my model. And he did a great job, and he was smart to ask me a lot of questions and to train with me in the morning when I trained, which was always between 6 and 7 in the morning before I went to the set. And then at night, a lot of times when if we would not be that tired, we would drive back to the hotel, and on the way to the hotel, we would stop at the gym again and work out another half an hour. You know, but he was just game for anything and for learning, so which was great.